Chef Matt, the sushi chef here at FLIK, and today I'm going to show you a couple different methods how to preserve vegetables at home. So the first thing that we're going to make today is called Sunomono. Sunomono is like a lightly pickled cucumber. So we're going to use English cucumber for this. First thing before we cut anything or do anything is we're going to wash our hands. Very important. Now that we've washed our hands, I'm going to start by taking the ends of the cucumber off and then splitting it right down the middle. So we'll have two halves just like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is really thin cuts. When I'm using the knife, I'm keeping my fingers held back, holding the knife firmly so it doesn't slip out. These cuts are all about 1/8 of an inch wide. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my cucumbers. Mix these with a teaspoon of salt. And take my hands, mix it all in. That salt's going to draw the moisture out of the cucumbers as well as start to marinate them. So after they're all mixed up, I'm going to let those sit for about 5 minutes. The second part to this is wakame. Wakame is a dried seaweed. Pretty mild in flavor. It always comes dry, and to rehydrate it, all we have to do is just pour a little bit of warm water over top of it. Enough to cover it by double. We'll let that sit for another 5 minutes too. While we're letting that sit, we can mix the rest of our ingredients. So to make the marinade for our cucumbers, we're going to combine 4 ounces of rice vinegar, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1 ounce of dashi. Dashi, I just made a kombu dashi, which kombu is a giant kelp. You can find it in a lot of Asian supermarkets. Adds a lot more flavor, a lot more umami to things. Along with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of soy sauce. So I'm going to whisk all these together so the salt and sugar dissolve. You want to do it until you see no more flecks of salt, no more granules of sugar. Be nice and clear once we're all done. Now that our wakame's had a little bit of time to rehydrate, we're going to strain it off. And now that our cucumbers have had some time to marinate in the salt, we're going to dump them out. I like to use towel, linen, you can use cheesecloth, whatever you have around. Maybe not a paper towel because it would rip, something that's a little bit sturdy. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these cucumbers and we're going to squeeze out all of this excess water. So everything that the saucepan pour out, we're going to squeeze all that out. Not too hard to where we're going to destroy the cucumbers, but enough to just smash them. And once you see the water kind of stop to come, and then you get everything just a little bit smashed. Go ahead and add those back to our bowl. Mix in our wakame. And just enough seasoning to coat it. So from here, mix it well. And you can refrigerate this for 2 to 3 hours, and it'll pick up a nice flavor. It's a nice, nice side dish. And what I like to do after it's been in the refrigerator for a while, plate it up. So we'll take some cucumber, some wakame mixture. We'll squeeze out any excess marinade right in the middle of the plate. I like to top it with some sesame seeds, some toasted sesame seeds, and a little bit of sesame oil. It's a fantastic side, especially in the hot summer months and springtime coming. It's a great way to utilize cucumbers. So in the refrigerator, in the marinade, this will last 2 to 4 weeks. So a nice way to stretch cucumbers. The second thing that we're going to be making today is cabbage shizuke. And shizuke is just basically a salt marinade. So what we're going to do for that is we have half a head of cabbage, about a pound's worth of cabbage. We're going to cut the root up, and then cut it into thirds. Once we have it into thirds, we're going to take that root end off. It tends to stay a little bit tough, so we're just going to cut that right off. So using a knife, you can cut right at an angle. From here, we're going to break all these cabbage leaves apart. Take these nice strips, and you can use any type of cabbage for this. Once we have them apart, put them into a bowl. And we're going to mix these with a half an ounce of salt. Get all the salt on there, turn it around, get it coated. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of water to this. And this is going to make a brine where this can ferment. Once you have the salt and the water in there, I'm going to put another bowl on top. And we need a weight. I like to use just a mason jar filled with some water. Press it down. So we're going to let this sit pressed down for 2 to 3 days. You can come back and taste it. It'll start to taste maybe a little bit sour. That's right where you want it. So we're going to leave this for 2 to 3 days. Once it's been sitting for that long, you can see it's been pressed down, a lot of water comes out. So So when we first put it in, it's going to look like the water's not going to reach above the cabbage. Once that salt starts working on it, the natural water will come out of the cabbage, it'll all start to compress down, and you'll have something that looks like this. So what we're going to do now is, again, put the squeeze on this cabbage. So we're going to take this cabbage out. And a big squeeze. So all the water starts coming out of it. Once the water's out of it, back into a bowl. And this time we're going to top it with mirin, which is a sweet Japanese rice wine, 1 tablespoon, and also kombu. So kombu is giant kelp, adds a lot of umami, it's the basis for dashi, miso soup. We're going to add just little pieces that we're going to tear apart. This is really going to make this cabbage a crazy good ingredient. So once everything's mixed together, bowl goes back on top, weight goes back on top of that, and then you let this ferment again for 3 to 4 days. After 3 to 4 days, you move it into your refrigerator. It'll keep there for about 1 to 2 months. The last thing that we're going to do is a little bit strange, but pretty good. It's got a lot of different uses. So we're going to make garlic fermented honey. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is peel our garlic. So our garlic cloves, you can sit there and pick them apart. It's kind of a pain. My trick that I like to do is just take my knife, flat edge, and just, you don't have to hit it so hard that you totally obliterate it, but just enough to crack that skin, it'll come apart. Once all of our garlic cloves are cracked, find a clean jar. Clean as in you take it, pour boiling water into it, sterilize it, make sure there's nothing else in that jar. I'm just going to put our garlic cloves right into there. After we got our garlic cloves in there, honey. We're going to cover the whole thing with honey. We have to make sure that all the cloves are covered. So once the honey starts going on, give it a little tap. If it needs it, give it a little stir. All that honey, all the way down to the bottom there. So this one, in 2 to 3 days, you'll have really good garlic honey syrup. And then in 1 to 2 months, the actual garlic cloves will be ready to eat. And the honey syrup with the garlic has been used in Asian culture as a cold remedy. So you would take a little bit of the syrup, mix it with some hot water, and just sip on it before you go to bed when you're feeling those kind of cold respiratory symptoms. These are just a few ways that you can preserve vegetables at home. There's tons of other ways, but between acid and salt, you can really, really stretch your produce. Thanks again, everybody, and stay safe.